Am I the asshole for telling my dad it isn't the thought that counts? I'm fully prepared to be called the asshole. My dad has this habit of offering to get you something and then bringing back something else, or a different version of the same thing. He won't call and ask you what else you want if the item isn't there. He will just assume you will be fine with whatever he gets. A few weeks ago we went out shopping for groceries as my mum was away. She had put her favorite dip on the shopping list and wrote down exactly what brand it was. Dad couldn't seem to find the dip and so decided to grab a random green dip and hope for the best. When I pointed out that the dip Mum wanted was on the shelf above, he grabbed it and seemed shocked that he didn't see it. Things like this are a regular occurrence and we kinda expect to get something different whenever he offers to get us something. He never reads the containers or bottles and just grabs stuff at random most of the time. Last night Dad called me and asked me if I wanted anything from the liquor store as he was grabbing some wine. I said, "Can you please get me brand in raspberry please?" He brings home the pineapple flavor and only realizes it's wrong when I point it out. Oh, and he also got annoyed when I didn't want to drink it as I dislike pineapple. He tells me it's the thought that counts even if he fucked up. That's when I told him that it isn't the thought that counts when you repeatedly get the wrong thing. This started a mini argument where I had to explain to him that he needs to actually take the time and make sure he gets the right thing and call us if he can't get it. I seem to have hurt his feelings and he told me I was being ungrateful and rude. Yo, my dad offers to buy me things. I've mentioned in the post but people seem to be skipping that part, loudly crying. Not the asshole. Are you sure the man can read? Vision problems? Not the asshole. It's the thought that counts and he exhibits lack of thought. I got you something, just shut up. Not the asshole, weaponized incompetence. Not the asshole. It's the thought that counts, applies when situations like this are the exception, not the rule. Here he's doing the bare minimum and expecting a reward. Not the asshole the next time you are out and he asks you to pick something up for him. Do what he does and when he complains just say, "Hey, it's the thought that counts, right Dad?" He's either very indifferent to detail or just not terribly concerned about what other people ask for. Someone in the comments asks if you are sure he's literate, which merits reflection as well. Choosing a dip because it was green could be a sign of illiteracy. That said, most people know, for example, that you can ask for the raspberry booze and not just take whatever you see on the shelf. Not the asshole, but avoid giving him tasks like this to do, even if he asks. It must be frustrating for him as well that he can't get things right. Lol, if he asks, say, "No, I'll get my own dip, booze." Am I the asshole for telling my husband I don't want his daughter going on vacation with us? My husband has a 16-year-old daughter, Amy, with his ex. She's a huge Disney kid, which I get, I was too. We have 2 kids together, Ryan and Ella, 9-yo and 2-yo. Amy goes to Disney usually 5 times a year. Twice with her mom, twice with my husband, and her maternal grandparents take her every Christmas break. The younger kids and I have never gone with my husband and Amy as it's a tradition they've had since she was a baby. We, my husband, me and our 2 kids together, have a trip planned for early August to go to a different theme park for a few days. It was agreed that this would be a just the 4 of us trip as it will be our kids' first theme park trip. Initially, my husband said he wasn't inviting Amy as she will have just gotten back from Disney with her mom a few days before. My husband takes her every year over Thanksgiving and spring break. Whenever we've included Amy in any of our trips, she complains non-stop. It's boring, stupid, useless. She hates it. Disney is better. It's a waste of time. And she has a really pissy mood the whole time. I'm not looking forward to that. I think the 2 younger kids deserve a fun time without Amy basically throwing a tantrum. Last time, we went to a water park. Amy got pissy because she wanted Disney again. So she turned off her phone and ran off. We all spent the next several hours looking for her and by the time we found her it was time to go and nobody was able to enjoy the day. I told my husband I do not want her to go with us and my reasons why. He says I'm being unfair and Amy is still one of the kids and if we're taking out 2 then it's only fair to include Amy. I told him if he insists on Amy going, I'll make other accommodations for myself, Ryan and Ella. He told me I'm being an asshole and try to see how that would make Amy feel. Am I the asshole? Edit. Amy has said she does not care at all about our trip. We're going to Legoland, not Disney.
My husband wants Amy to go with us since he's worried she'll end up regretting it later if she skips it.
Not the asshole.
If at 16 her attitude is as you stated, and she just got back from Disney, then your two kids deserve a chance to enjoy their own trip.
But my concern is who will she stay with since she just got back from her mom's. Not the asshole.
At 16 she can be held to appropriate behavior.
I understand having her special time with each of her parents, but this seems excessive.
Why doesn't their father take Amy on one trip and do older kid things and take the younger ones on one trip and do younger kid things?
Aren't 4 yearly trips to Disney sufficient? Why is it okay to regularly exclude 2 children but not the other? I told my husband I do not want her to go with us and my reasons why.
He says I'm being unfair and Amy is still one of the kids, and if we're taking out 2 then it's only fair to include Amy. Why is he okay with his 16-year-old acting more like a toddler throwing tantrums? If I did that I wouldn't be getting multiple trips to an expensive amusement park.
So fair is fair. He can no longer take solo trips to Disney with only Amy. He now has to take both the 9-year-old and the 2-year-old.
Oh, do I sympathize with you? My ex-stepdaughter was like that.
Everything was an issue.
Where she slept, where she sat, what she wanted to do, what she didn't want to do.
I can honestly say she ruined nearly every trip once she turned 8. I never fought to not bring her, but I definitely wished it. I could not wait to take my kids on vacation for the first time without her, my ex.
Not encouraging you to get divorced at all, please don't take it that way.
I'm just saying, it was so nice to take a trip where everyone just had fun.
Ideas to keep the peace. Can you get adjoining rooms so she can have her own room?
Can she bring a friend? That way she and the friend can do their own thing at the park while you guys do the kiddie stuff? Info. Does Amy even want to go on this trip?
It sounds like maybe she'd be happy to skip it, honestly.
Info. Why wouldn't you plan this to be during her trip to Disney?
Otherwise, yeah, even if your reasons are sound, you are absolutely sending the message that Amy isn't a part of your real family and doesn't deserve family vacations. Teens are fun in that they can hurt you because they're generally short-sighted, selfish creatures, and spoiled ones get that baked in a little extra, but as an adult you will be held to a higher standard because you know better and need to do better.
Do your younger kids deserve a fun, worry-free vacation that doesn't cater to a moody teen? Of course.
Does that dream exclude some of your family members and need to be rethought so everyone gets to be regarded in a kind and fair way?
Yeah, it does. Am I the asshole for wanting my boyfriend to leave after his surprise visit? Update. I would like to clarify I only wanted a quick second opinion at 3 a.m.
This is the reason I hadn't included more info, which definitely led to most commenters jumping to conclusions.
I am male and actually somewhat the dominant one in our relationship. He was very understanding when I told him he had to leave, and we spent an amazing afternoon together, which took my mind off uni stress.
He is, in my opinion, a keeper, and I find it downright disgusting that most commenters immediately assumed ill intent and tried to convince me to dump him, especially given the limited amount of information.
I truly believe that, in this case, the vast majority of commenters are the assholes. My boyfriend and I both live in different EU countries. It is currently 3 a.m. I am typing this as he sleeps. However, he just visited yesterday at around 8:30 p.m. without telling me he would do so beforehand. He has asked me whether I would be fine with him doing surprise visits, and while I generally am not against them, I made it clear to him multiple times already that he should not do them until July. Just for context, he visited me in my dorm room. I am a medical student and have an important upcoming exam I need to study for. I really do enjoy his company, and he even brought me an expensive gift, but I cannot help but feel not listened to in the sense that I clearly did tell him I needed space and time to study for my exam over the next 2 weeks. Am I the asshole for wanting him to leave tomorrow morning without having spent much time together at all? Not the asshole. This is beyond whether you have exams or not. This is about him not listening to you, not respecting your boundaries, not respecting your personal space. He brings you an expensive gift convinced that with that, he has earned the right of your time and space. He may be a great guy, but in relation to you, he seems carelessly and selfishly invested. You can ask him to leave tomorrow morning with due explanations given respectfully. And if he still does not get it, well, then you have a clear idea about the shape of your relationship in the future. His actions were selfishly motivated. He knew exactly what he was doing, because otherwise the gift would have been something simple. Or nothing.
This man is actively sniffing for faults in your boundaries to see how far in he can get before he stopped. This time the gift bribed the guard at the front gate.
He cares less for your studies and ambitions than he does about his own wants. Just watch how he behaves when you make him leave tomorrow.
If he throws a fit, you can take it to the bank that he hasn't logged the importance of what you're doing now.
Not the asshole.
This reminds me of when, a very long time ago, my boyfriend at the time insisted on picking me up from a long-haul international flight, and had planned a whole, surprise, evening for immediately after I landed.
He got mad that I was jet-lagged and exhausted and didn't want to go sit through a 2-hour orchestra concert. Also an expensive, surprise, gift that he held over my head. All I wanted to do was sleep and he simply would not understand that. The relationship did not survive. Your boyfriend is being selfish. BTW, I refused to go to the concert. Same boyfriend later got angry that I wouldn't postpone a surgery and go meet his family instead, in case you're wondering where behavior like this may lead. Not the asshole. Visiting any serious student during exam season unprompted is a big no-no, and you already expressed that you didn't want that and he did it anyway. He should be able to deal with your bidding him goodbye in the morning, or at very least, completely staying out of your way so you can study and function however you need and not get butthurt over a lack of attention. Not the asshole. People who always want to surprise are trying to be the center of attention and get the whole world revolving around them. Thank him for coming and send him home. And don't let him make you feel guilty. Not the asshole. Is he there to help you out? Cook, clean, take care of what you need? That would be a nice surprise. Or is he there to demand your attention? Am I the asshole for helping my nephews run away? My twin nephews, 18 male, live in another state with their mother and her boyfriend, not their father. We all lived together, boyfriend excluded, when the boys were first born, and I was very close to them before they moved away. I didn't see them again until they were 13, when they spent a summer with me and my family. It took some adjustment, but soon it was like I had 2 new sons. When the summer ended, one returned to their mother, while the other, citing behavioral issues at home, stayed with me. He had some challenges but adjusted well and became a really great and kind kid, still is. After about a year, his mother wanted him back, but he strongly preferred to stay. I discussed it with my sister, but she was against the idea. 5 years later, the boys are now young men. Although I haven't seen them during this time, we easily reconnect when we meet. We joke, talk, and they share updates on their lives with me. During a recent conversation, they confided in me, asking me not to tell my sister, that they have jobs and their mother and her boyfriend convinced them to hand over their debit cards under the pretense of saving their money. Both my sister and her boyfriend are unemployed and have been using the boys' income to support themselves, and spent every dime the boys have earned, $5,000. The boys want to leave, and I advise them to wait until they finish high school. That was the plan until a few days ago when one of the boys argued with my sister and threatened to cancel his card. To which she threatened to kick him out, and he called me, asking for help. I promised him a bus ticket to my state if she followed through on her threat. Last night, both boys called me and said they wanted to leave. True to my word, I bought them bus tickets. My sister called me today, furious that I hadn't informed her about any of this. Am I the asshole? Your nephews are 18. They aren't running away, they are simply moving and you are helping them. Make sure they can finish out high school so they get their diplomas. They may want to go to the school and make sure their mailing addresses aren't with your sister. Make sure they have all of their important documents, ID, SSN card, birth certificate, etc. THY should check their credit as well and make sure their mom hasn't taken out credit in their name. If she's staking their paychecks, I doubt the financial abuse stops there. Your sister is mad because you didn't tell her the plan? Tough shush, T for her. Abusers don't deserve a heads up. Not the asshole. Definitely not the asshole. A few pieces of advice. Have them put a lock on their credit. We've heard multiple stories on this subreddit of parents opening credit cards in their kids' names and wrecking their credit. Since your sister has just lost her gravy train, she may well try this next. Have them close their current bank accounts and open new ones at a different bank. Do not tell your sister.
Since it sounds like they haven't completed high school, definitely work with them on a plan to either complete it at a school near you or get their GED.
Not the asshole, although you may face some legal headaches for this. I'm assuming they will all be resolved in your favor as the boys are adults and left of their own volition.
They need to shut down the bank accounts the parents have access to, lock down their credit, and start anew where you live.
They should consider filing police reports for the theft from their accounts.
Your nephews were being financially exploited and emotionally manipulated by their mother and her boyfriend. You stepped in to protect them from a harmful situation. It's important to have an open and honest conversation with your sister, explaining your concerns for your nephew's well-being and your reasons for helping them. It's important to remember that your nephew's safety and well-being should be the top priority. While your actions might have been motivated by good intentions, it's important to be aware of the potential consequences and work towards a solution that protects them in the long run.
Not the asshole. The boys are already legal adults.
Their mom doesn't have any say on their decisions, and you are not obligated to disclose their plan to her. You are a kind aunt, uncle who is willing to offer your place to the young adults starting their life, and definitely not an
Not the asshole.
18-year-old men don't need to run away. They choose to leave, as most adults have a right to do.
All they asked for was help to leave their situation, which you gave them.